Welcome back, dear students, for today's session. In this session, I am going to give the solutions for the chapter The Living World. So, the first question we have here is the label of a herbarium sheet does not carry information on. So, they have given four options. So, date of collection, name of collector, local names, and height of the plant. So here, first of all, let us understand what do we mean by herbarium. Here, herbarium means to say it's a collection of plants. All right, it's a collection of plants. Remember, where we are going to dry those plants, okay, then press, mount on herbarium sheet. I hope you understood this point. Okay, so we are going to dry the plants first, then we are going to press it and mount it on the herbarium sheets. Later, they are identified and classified. All right, they are identified and also classified. So to go with that, let me tell you what procedure is followed here. See, we have some approved system of classification. Accordingly, we have to identify them and we have to classify them. Let me tell you, dear students, that the storage of herbarium, in fact, forms, it is used for the future use. It is deposited in, it is stored in a place called, repository. So here it is stored, okay, whenever the need arises for research, for study, all right, of the plants, definitely from the repository it can be definitely used. Dear students, a label of 7 into 12 centimeter, okay, 7 into 12 centimeter, which gives information, okay, is fixed on the lower right corner of the herbarium sheet, right, on the lower, okay, on the bottom, okay, at the right corner, we are going to, in fact, give the following information which I am going to tell you now. Okay, what are those informations, which need to be included there? Firstly, we have the scientific name of the plant. We are going to give the first scientific name of the plant. Okay, and secondly, common name. All right, we are going to give the common name. All right, then to go with that, thirdly, we are going to also write the family of the plant. Dear students, even locality is also mentioned. All right, and then further, date of collection. When we have collected the plant, that date of collection need to be mentioned compulsorily. All right, so let me repeat. First is scientific name, to go with the common name, then the family of the plant, the locality from where it is collected and when it is collected, that is the date, and sixth we have, if need be, even this can also be in fact written. See, we need to even write the, in fact, collection number. So before that, if we have collected any of the plants, all right, We need to know, right? For that we need to mention the collection number. Then seventhly, we need to mention the name of the collector who has collected. So their name needs to be mentioned, okay, in the lower right corner, where we are in fact giving all these information in the herbarium sheet. Okay, 8 we have, okay, please do understand. Here we can even go for writing the plant characters. All right, if need be, this is just optional. If you need, you can also mention, all right, name of the institution, all right, where it is been stored. It is just an option. All right, these two last two which I said, that is the plant characteristics, and next, that is the name of the institution. If you want to mention, you can mention. If you do not want to mention, definitely, okay, it's your option. You can exempt from it. Okay, so now let us understand the question here. So they are giving in on the herbarium sheet which information is not there. 4 options are there, right? So among that, date of collection, I have told date of collection is very much necessary. Even name of the collector, as I mentioned, it is also compulsory. And local names or vernacular names also you can say, so that is also necessary. So the one which we do not need on the herbarium sheet, the information which we do not need is height of the plant. Remember, it is height of the plant which is need not be written on the herbarium sheets. So the answer is option 4. Dear students, question number 2 we have here is match column 1 with column 2 for housefly classification and select the correct option using the codes below. So it is mentioned here column 1 and column 2. Column 1 towards your left hand side and column 2 towards your right hand side. All right, you need to match and pick the option which is given out of those 4. Now let us understand this question first of all. Okay, now housefly, it's a common insect which we come across. All right, so its classification, let us understand completely. So it belongs to the kingdom Animalia. It is a arthropod actually. All right, so it belongs to the invertebrate phylum. We call it to as Arthropoda. It belongs to the phylum Arthropoda. Okay, then to go with that, next we have class. Class is Insecta. Then comes order. All right, it is Diptera. All right, then comes family. Family is here Mucidae. To go with that, next we have the genus. Genus is Musa. All right, then we have finally the species. The species is we have Domestica. All right, just let me repeat. Kingdom it belongs to is Animalia. Then the phylum is Arthropoda. Class is Insecta. Order is Diptera. Family is Mucidae. Genus Musa and species Domestica. So you can match here now. You know the complete order. You know the complete classification hierarchy. Accordingly, you can select the given option. Alright. So you have here now family. To which family does it belong to? See, it belongs to the family Mucidae. So you have to go for Mucidae as the family. Then secondly, they have given order. Order here it belongs to is Diptera. Alright. Then comes the class. The class is Insecta. Phylum is Arthropoda. Alright. So if you know the classification hierarchy, then definitely matching the option becomes very easy. So out of these four options, which are given, now A matches with 3, B matches with 1, C matches with 4, and D matches with 2. So you have to go for the option A. So answer is option 1. Alright. Dear students, moving on to the next question, we have study the 4 statements from A to D given below and select the 2 correct ones out of them. So, dear students, 4 options have been given A, B, C, and D, out of which 2 are correct and 2 are incorrect. So, we have to select the correct ones. So, let us go with the option A here. So, here first statement, definition of biological species was given by Ernst Mayr. It is the correct statement because biological species was defined by Ernst Mayr. So, this is the correct statement. Next, photoperiod does not affect reproduction in plants. It is the wrong statement, dear students, because photoperiod affects both flowering, alright, as well as the reproduction in plants. Alright. So let me tell you, as it affects both flowering and reproduction, alright, here the statement which is given is it does not affect the reproduction. So it is the false statement. So we shouldn't consider that statement here. So photoperiod is, photo indicates light, period indicates here intervals of time. Okay. So now the plant, to what time it is been in fact exposed to the light is what we call the photoperiod. Okay. So which affects both flowering and reproduction. So the statement B here it is given as the wrong statement. Next, third statement we have here is binomial nomenclature system was given by R.H. Whittaker. Dear students, let me tell you that the biological nomenclature was in fact given by Carolus Linnaeus. Alright, and it is not by R.H. Whittaker. R.H. Whittaker is responsible for 5 kingdom classification. That means he in fact classified the organisms into 5 kingdoms, that is Monera, Protista, Mycota, Plantae and Animalia. So that is the wrong statement again. Alright, statement first is correct, statement 2 is wrong, statement 3 is also wrong. Now next we have statement 4 here. In unicellular organisms, reproduction is synonymous with growth. Okay, this is the correct statement. Alright, because let me tell you, for example, if the cell division occurs, alright, the organism reproduces as well as, it means to say that it is also growing. It does not represent separately. So both are interchangeably, both are, we use the terms simultaneously because the cell division itself results in reproduction as well as, that is in turn we can also call it to as growth. So statement 4 is also, correct. Statement A and D is correct. Statement B and C is wrong. So we have to match with the 4 options now. See, you can see the option 3, okay, A and D. So that is the correct answer, option 3, okay, you have to go for. Dear students, fourth question is, nomenclature is governed by certain universal rules. Which one of the following is contrary to the rules of nomenclature? Let me tell you, dear students, we have studied about the nomenclature and we know that it has set of rules. All right, those rules it should satisfy. If it does not satisfy, we cannot say that, okay, it is following the proper rules of nomenclature. So here, which one is contrary? That means here, which is the wrong statement you need to select out of these 4. 3 are correct, 1 is incorrect. First option we have here is, the names are written in Latin and are italicized. Yes, okay, it is true that the scientific names need to be in fact derived from the Latin language and it needs to be italicized. All right, it should be in italics when written. All right, if it is not italicized, then you have to write it through hand and it need to be underlined. So statement 2 is also correct. Both 2 statements are correct. So that is not the option we are looking for. We need the wrong statement, right? Yeah. So let us go for the third option here. Biological names can be written in any language. See, they have given we can write biological names in any language. This is the wrong statement, because, dear students, it should be written in Latin language. All right, let me tell you why it should be written only in Latin language. Because Latin language is the dead language. All right, so that means to say, why we call Latin language as dead language? Because it will not change its form or even spellings with the passage of time. That's where Latin is referred to as dead language, and it is considered for the writing the scientific, in fact deriving the scientific names. All right, so it is wrong. All right, so option 3 is absolutely wrong statement. Okay, then fourth option, the first word in a biological name represents the genus name and the second is specific epithet. Yes, see, always remember, the first name is the genus name and the second one is the species name. All right, or specific epithet. So this is also the correct statement. So out of these 4, as I said you, which is contrary, which we have to select the wrong statement. Okay, so option 3 is the correct answer. You need to go for option 3. Fifth question, which one of the following is not a correct statement? Again, you have to select the incorrect statement, dear students. So 4 options have been given. Let us understand all of them. A museum has collection of photographs of plants and animals. All right, so this first statement itself is wrong. All right, let me tell you, okay, few important aspects here. See, museums have collections of preserved plant and animal specimens, both plants, all right, and to go with plants, even animals are also, all right, preserved, all right, in the museums. So the other specimens can be preserved in the containers or jars in the preservative solution. For example, preservative solution we have is formalin. If you want to store any of the preservative in the preservative solutions, any of the organism, definitely it can be done, and it is done in the museum. And when it comes to animal specimens, okay, they can be preserved as dry specimens. All right. So this is also done in the museums. To go with that, next we have the insects. So insects here, already you know, we in fact have insect boxes. All right. So after collecting, all right, they are killed and pinned onto the insect boxes. All right. So we use insect boxes for preserving the insects. All right. Next, larger animals, for example, let us say, for example, we have birds, or let us say we have mammals. How they need to be preserved? Yes, they are also preserved in the museums, okay, by stuffing. So they are stuffed and preserved. All right. So even let me tell you, few of these skeletons are also preserved in the museum. All right, children. So these are the points you need to remember. All right, with respect to museum. So the option for the first statement which is given is wrong, because photographs of plants and animals are generally not kept in a museum. So second option is, key is a taxonomic aid for identification of specimen. Yes. So we go for taxonomic key. Along with the key we also have statement, couplet, all right, monographs, manuals. All these are important for identification of specimens. So option 2 is correct. Then option 3 we have is, herbarium houses dried, pressed and preserved plant specimens. Yes. All right. So we are going to first dry, then press, and then preserve it for further observation. Then option 4 we have is also correct, that is, botanical gardens have collection of living plants for reference. Yes. All right. So as we all know, botanical gardens definitely of various endemic, it may be, or it may be endangered, or of research importance. All right, it is all in fact seen in botanical garden, and they are in living condition. All right. So that's option 4 is also correct. So we need to go for the incorrect statement here. So the incorrect statement is option 1. So you go for the answer as the option 1. Sixth question we have is, the common characteristics between tomato and potato will be maximum at the level of their, okay, so family, order, division and genus are the 4 options which are given. Okay, where their common characteristics will be maximum. Let me tell you that both tomato and potato belong to the same family. They are from the same family. What is the family here? They belong to the family called Solanaceae. Solanaceae. Okay. Potato we generally called as Solanum tuberosum as the scientific name. Solanum tuberosum is the scientific name of potato. All right. Then we have tomato. So Lycopersicum, all right, esculentum is the scientific name of tomato. Right. So both Solanum tuberosum as well as Lycopersicum esculentum belong to the family called Solanaceae. All right. And it is generally called as potato family because see, many of the vegetables and fruits are derived through this family. Anyway, so just let me tell you, the correct answer you have to go for here is family, because tomato and potato belong to the same family called Solanaceae. So they have common characteristics more with respect to the family level. Moving to the 7th question, Which one of the following animals is correctly matched with its particular taxonomic category? So here four options have been given. So tiger, tigris as the species, cuttlefish, mollusca as the class, okay, then humans, primata as family, housefly, musa as order. Let me tell you first and foremost thing what you need to remember, dear students, is that binomial nomenclature. We all are aware of binomial nomenclature. So which was in fact explained by Carolus Linnaeus. All right. So he was a Swedish botanist. All right. It is also called as Linnaean system as well. For binomial nomenclature, we call Linnaean system. The students, here bi represents two names. The first is the generic name, all right, and the second name is the species name, all right, that we call specific name. So dear students, so in that case, the scientific name or the zoological name here of the tiger is Panthera tigris. This is the zoological name of tiger. So the options which are correctly matched, cuttlefish, it is actually mollusca which I have given, is not a class, it is a phylum. Here also the option 3 and 4, they have given the wrong orders, okay, and family. So let me tell you the first option, tigris. Say, as you can see here with the zoological name of tiger, tigris is the species name, okay. So Panthera is the genus name. So option 1 is correct with respect to the 7th question. Dear students, the 8th question we have here is ICBN stands for. So they are asking what is the expansion or abbreviation of ICBN. So four options have been given here. The first option is International Code of Botanical Nomenclature, International Congress of Biological Names, International Code of Botanical Nomenclature, Indian Congress of Biological Names. Dear students, option A is correct here. Let me tell you, because here it represents the International Code of Botanical Nomenclature. See, this ICBN has certain rules and also it has certain recommendations, all right, which has to be compulsorily followed for giving botanical names for a plant, all right. So further, it is mentioned in a book called Philosophia Botanica. In this book, it is very clearly mentioned the rules and recommendations of ICBN, that is International Code of Botanical Nomenclature. This book, Philosophia Botanica, was written by again Carolus Linnaeus. Dear students, further let me tell you that ICBN follows this order of ranks of taxa. It starts from the lowermost, that is the species is the first rank. To go with that, next comes the genus, all right, which is according to the Philosophia Botanica, the book written by Carolus Linnaeus, all right. Then comes the tribe. To go with that, next comes the family, then we have the order, all right. After order there comes series, after series there is class, after class there is division, and finally we have the kingdom. At last we have the kingdom. So let me tell you, the highest rank here is the kingdom and the lowest rank is the species. As you move on from the species to the kingdom, you find that the characters keeps increasing. All right, fine. So this order is followed by the ICBN. And further, see, I am talking about rules and recommendations. So few I am telling you what are mentioned in the Philosophia Botanica. Say for example, if we write a class, the specific endings are there. For example, we use AE for class. For family we use AC. All right, so like this, these are also certain rules which we need to consider for giving botanical names to the plant body. So you go for the option International Code of Botanical Nomenclature, option A. Ninth question we have is, one of the most important functions of botanical gardens is that. 4 options have been given, so we need to select the most important functions. All right, so first is, they provide a beautiful area for recreation. Yes indeed, but it is not considered as an important function. Any botanical garden, if anybody visits, indeed it is a beautiful area which provides recreation, but we need to consider the purpose of its establishment and what are the important functions. Okay, next, option 2, one can observe tropical plants there. Generally it can be definitely put across in the botanical gardens, but that is also not the important function. Third is, they allow ex situ conservation of germplasm. Okay, so this I can say is the correct option, and let me give the answer for this. Why it is the correct answer? Because ex situ conservation, or it can also be called as off-site conservation, all right, it is a process of protection, all right, of endangered species. Remember, dear students, here endangered species are protected, all right, of both plants and of animals. These plants and animals are removed from their unsafe or threatened habitat, and we are going to place under such a habitat where there is human care. Now, obvious that the botanical gardens will have the human care. All right, so this is what we call ex situ conservation of germplasm of plants, and generally of plants, but even few animals also can be considered, because to maintain them, all right, to maintain the plants, to maintain the endemic aspects of the plants. Endemic here refers to the natural habitat of that plant. If you want to maintain, all right, we need to have few animals as well. Okay, but let me tell you, the most important is that it allows the ex situ conservation of germplasm. Let me move to the 4th option here. They provide the natural habitat for wildlife. So this is not the important function. Generally wildlife will not be considered when we talk about the botanical gardens. So you have to go for option 3, which is the correct answer. Dear students, the 10th question is, which of the following is less general in characters as compared to genus? See, we are considering here genus, remember. All right, so here always remember, okay, the taxonomic hierarchy. So we have to consider genus, and when we compare genus which are having less general characters than genus. Okay, so let me explain you this. First of all, let us understand what do we mean by taxonomical, okay, hierarchy. See, it is in fact the arrangement of taxonomic categories, all right. So in descending order, dear students. So in descending order we are going to in fact place the different taxonomic categories. That is what we call taxonomic hierarchy. So generally we have 7 categories, all right. Let me tell you, it starts from the let me go from the highest order. So first is the kingdom, then we have the phylum, then comes the class. To go with class we have order, then family, genus and species. So these are the 7 taxonomic categories, where the number of, okay, the common characters is maximum. Common characters is maximum in case of organisms placed under the lowest category. So which is the lowest category here? Species. And common characters will be very much decreased with respect to the highest category, that is the kingdom. Now let me tell you, dear students, see, the question is as such that which of the following is less general in characters. We have to consider the less general characters comparing genus. So here see, number of common characters decreases with the rise in category, all right. Common characters decreases, that means you start with the species, then go to the genus, then family, then order, then class. As you move on in such a manner, what we can find is that the common characters keep on decreasing, all right. Until we reach kingdom, we will have very much decreased common characters, all right, students. So here remember that species are the smallest group. This is the smallest group, all right, of individuals. In fact, it can also be recognized by the ordinary methods, all right. It need not be required the sophisticated methods of nomenclature or classification to understand this species. Even ordinary methods will work, all right. So this, in fact, let me tell you, this group species is in fact different from the other groups because their characters are very much less general, all right, when compared to the genus. So genus is immediately after genus you get species, all right. So the less general characters when compared to the species is that of the species, all right, because they have asked only comparing genus. So below that we have the less general characters of species. So go for option 1. 11th question we have is, the book Genera Plantarum was written by. There are 4 options which have been given. Option 1 is Engler and Prantl. Option B, Bentham and Hooker. Option C, Bessay. And option D, Hutchinson. So out of these 4, let me tell you, the book Genera Plantarum was written by Bentham and Hooker, all right. It is their monumental work. In fact, from the year 1862 to the year 1883, they have worked on the Genera Plantarum, all right. So what it is? It provides the keys, okay. It provides the taxonomic keys for easy identification of 202 natural orders, all right. And to go with that, all right, even genera, 202 genera. Alright, it describes clearly for its easy identification. Alright, so that's what is Genera Plantarum book, which was in fact given by Bentham and Hooker. But let us also try to understand what are the contributions of the other given scientists here. We have Engler and Prandtl. So they have written a book called Naturalichen, all right, Pflanzen Familien. This is the book written by Engler and Prandtl. All right, Hutchinson has also written a book, that is the Families of Flowering Plants. All right, so this is the book written by Hutchinson. All right. So who is Bessé now here? Bessé has worked on plant morphology. To study the plant external characters, he has contributed a lot. Right. So morphology means study of external characteristics. He is an American botanist. All right. So here the correct answer for the given question is B, or the second answer, that is Bentham and Hooker. Next we have 12th question. The question is, Linnaeus is credited with binomial nomenclature, theory of biogenesis, discovery of microscope, and discovery of blood circulation. So let me tell you, Linnaeus without doubt is credited with binomial nomenclature. See, he has also mentioned about binomial nomenclature in his books. In the year 1735, he included binomial nomenclature in his book called Systema Naturae. Secondly, in the year 1753, he included binomial nomenclature in Species Plantarum. So this is significantly, an important nomenclature, naming of organisms, where we have two names. One is the genus name and the second one is specific or the species name. The genus name initially should start with a capital letter and the species name initially should start with a small letter. So remember that. So other than that, we do have many other the rules and regulations which we need to consider for binomial nomenclature. So let me also tell the other options. See, theory of biogenesis, it's a concept pertaining to your second PUC. All right. So it is explained by a scientist called Louis Pasteur. All right. And secondly, you have the discovery of microscope, which was done by Zacharias Janssen. All right. Finally, we have blood circulation, which was discovered by William Harvey. All right. So without doubt, please go for option 1. 13th question we have is, the term phylum was given by Cuvier, Haeckel, Theophrastus and Linnaeus are the 4 options which have been given here. So let me first of all tell you that the phylum, the word, was given by Cuvier. And let us also understand what are the contributions of other scientists. Haeckel, as we all know, his contributions are very immense in botany. All right, to go with that, Haeckel has also coined a few terms, like for example, phylogeny, all right, ecology and so on. Next we have Theophrastus. Theophrastus is regarded as the father of botany. His contributions are very noteworthy in botany. For all his contributions, okay, he is regarded as the father of botany. Next, Linnaeus, we all know, he has framed rules and regulations for naming the organisms. So we call that too as binomial nomenclature. So his contribution is binomial nomenclature. I am talking about the major ones. Alright. So anyway, so the term phylum was given by Cuvier. Please go for option 1. 14th question is, a taxon is, so a group of related families, a group of related species, a type of living organism, or a taxonomic group of any ranking. So out of these 4 options, we know that the taxon, the word taxon, what it signifies? It signifies any rank, alright, which represents the real biological classification. Alright. So let me tell you, a taxon is a taxonomic group of any ranking, where we had studied, like for example, taxonomic categories, alright, like kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus and species. So there, to assign, alright, each one is a taxon or a rank. Alright. So we can represent here with the 4th option, a taxon as a taxonomic group of any ranking, which is the shortest possible definition for taxon. So the word taxon was coined by Adolf Meyer in the year 1926. So further, so this is with respect to animals, and there is one more scientist, H.J. Lem, in the year 1948, alright, used this term taxon for plants. Alright. So he used for plants. Adolf Meyer used it for animals. Alright. So taxon is a taxonomic group of any ranking. Go for option 4. Next we have basic unit or smallest taxon of taxonomy or classification is. Alright. So let me tell you, first of all, the basic unit or the smallest taxon or the taxon having the maximum or the highest number of common characteristic is the species. Alright. And how can we define species? The species are closely related individuals which can interbreed among themselves to produce fertile offspring, which we already know. So remember the order, we have kingdom, alright, to go with next phylum, then we have class, okay, then order, family, genus and species. Out of these 7 taxonomic categories or ranks, okay, so the species is the basic unit, alright, the major unit, the highest taxonomic category is kingdom. So go for option 1. 16th question we have here is, death is the most important regulatory process on the earth. It avoids pollution, overcrowding on earth, passing of triads from one generation to the next, and the 4th is reproduction. So let me tell you, first of all, that of course the statement which is given the question in the form of question is definitely correct. So death is the most important regulatory process on earth. Why? Because let me tell you, death reduces, all right, the number of individuals in a population. When the number of individuals are reduced, let me tell you, it avoids the overcrowding caused by continuous reproduction. All right, here overcrowding is avoided. All right, so when overcrowding is avoided, let me tell you, there will be, very healthy interactions between the living organisms on the earth. So death is a very necessary factor, all right, we need to consider here, or the regulatory process, okay, which is responsible for maintaining balance. Okay, see, let me tell you, overcrowding and reproduction are interrelated here, all right. So when overcrowding will occur, when there is more reproduction. So out of this, the more appropriate answer, if you are considering, we have to go for overcrowding on earth, because due to continuous reproduction we have overcrowding. See, let me tell you, death is the ultimate termination of life or functional life. All right, it is also important for vital ecological cycles. If, all right, death, let us say, does not occur, then definitely the ecological cycles cannot work. All right, so death becomes the important factor. Ecological cycles will not function or work without the death. All right, so organisms have to die. The organisms, when they die, overcrowding is avoided. So go for the option 2. 17th question is, which one of the following represents a tautonym? See, first of all, let us understand, dear students, what do we mean by tautonym? A tautonym is a scientific name, all right, where the genus and the species names are same. All right, that is what we call it to as tautonym. See, 4 options have been given. So the first option is ratus. So ratus is the tautonym. It is the right answer. It is the tautonym for black rat. The scientific name of black rat is ratus. And next, second option which they have given is Prunus dulcis. So this is the scientific name of almond. All right. Then the third option, Corvus splendens. Actually, splendens, it is repeated twice. All right. So Corvus splendens is the scientific name of house crow. All right. So in fact, house crow you can say, or Indian grey-necked crow, or Colombo crow, by different names it is regarded as, but commonly as house crow. All right. Then Albugo Candida, it is a white rust. So it is a fungi which causes infection in young plants. Albugo Candida. So here, just remember, tautonym, the genus and species name should be same. So ratus and ratus. So is the thing here, okay. Commonly you can find the same name here. So go for option 1. Okay, the other examples if you want, let me give you. For example, we have Ulpes. So which is a tautonym or the scientific name for red fox. All right. And say, for example, Gulo. So it is a scientific name for the wolverine. All right. And next, naja naja. Alright, it is the tautonym or the scientific name for Indian cobra. Alright, so these are few more examples which you can remember for tautonym. Please go for option 1. 18th question we have is type specimen described along with holotype is isotype, paratype, topo type, and fourth option is syntype. Dear students, first of all let us understand what do we mean by holotype and all these four options. Okay, see, all these are very important for identification of organisms. All right, see, what is holotype? It is a single specimen. We can say it to as single specimen, or you can also say this to as type of a species. All right, so this single specimen or the type of species, all right, here it should have been in fact described by a original author who had in fact discovered the particular species. It should have been described by him, all right, or her at the time of the species name and description was published. At least, remember species name, all right, and secondly, to go with that, description, all right, of what? Description of species. These two things you remember: species name and description of the species. All right, so at that time, all right, by the original author, if the single species or the type of species, all right, it is in fact described, then we can say that too as holotype. All right, remember students, it is a type of species or single specimen described by original author. Secondly, let us also understand the other options. Let us come from option 4. Firstly, we have syntype. So now we know holotype. All right, it is a type of a species or single specimen described by original author. But what is syntype here? See, it is also collection of specimens. Many specimens will be their collections. Okay, but these specimens, all right, were described without taking into account the holotype. All right, holotype was not selected at all, all right, to describe describe the species, so that we call it to as syntype. Next, let us go for the topo type. What is topo type here? See, it is also a specimen of species. Specimen of a species. All right, but remember, this is collected at the locality where we find the original type. Already many other species would have been discovered in a particular region. From that, these species are obtained. All right, those type of species, if they are obtained, we call that to as topo types. All right, next, dear students, next let us move on to paratype. Okay, see, let me tell you, paratype is also a specimen. All right, but one thing you need to remember here is that, see, this specimen is formally designated as a type, but not along with the type collection. All right, it is individually described, but not along with the type collection. We have many different types or the different types of species. Along with that, it is not considered, but it is considered as a single type. Okay, so remember that. But you need to take into consideration the original description of a taxon. Alright, so from where we are going to consider any specimen, okay, which was generally considered as a type but not under the other types of species or collection what we have, but under what? Original description. Alright, so that we call it to as paratype. So what is isotype now? One more we have, isotype. So let us understand now isotype. See, isotype rather we can say, it's a very simple, in simple manner, it's a duplicate specimen, alright, of holotype. Already holotype is there, holotype is described, that is the type of species by the original author is described, that is what we call holotype. Of that, if there is any duplicate specimen, that is called as what? Isotype. So it is the answer. Alright, isotype is described along with holotype. Rather we can say isotype is the duplicate specimen of the holotype. So go for the option 1. Moving on to the next question. The headquarter of BSI, that is Botanical Survey of India, is at or is located at. So where it is located? In Howrah, Kolkata. It is located in Howrah, Kolkata. So this is in West Bengal, the state of West Bengal. Alright, let me tell you, the Botanical Survey of India was established on 13th February 1890 by Government of India. Alright, especially the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change worked on the establishment of the Botanical Survey of India. So what was the objective of Botanical Survey of India? See, it was having a very important objective, that is to explore the plant resources of the country, to explore and to understand the plant resources of the country, and also to identify the plant species, alright, with economic virtues, which is economically very important for country's development, to identify that as well. The BSI, the Botanical Survey of India, was established. So headquarter is located at Howrah in Kolkata. 20th question we have is, manuals contains information for. See, first of all, let me tell you that manuals are taxonomic keys, alright, which are very essential for the identification of plants. Okay, so in other terms, let me tell you, manuals are books, right, where we can find complete compiled information. Many information from different sources are collected, where families, alright, genera, to go with species, alright, all this information will be there, but of a particular area, alright. So that is what we call it to as manuals. Manuals are books where we have all the information, complete compiled information, alright, of a particular area. So you have to go for here the option 3, that is identification of names of species found in an area. Only in an area we in fact work, alright, and not on the earth, or we don't concentrate on habitat or distribution or either or useful animals, alright. We concentrate on species found in a area, alright, with respect to their families, genus and species. So go for option 3. Next question, family is placed between genus and species, order and class, or class and genus, order and genus. Okay, dear students, let me give you one shortcut here for this. Okay, so remember, kids put cat on fire gas stove. This is a sentence. All right, what is the sentence here? Kids put cat on fire gas stove. Now consider the first letter of each word, so you will get to know the classification hierarchy. So you can just write down, kids put cat on fire gas stove. Now we are here talking of family. So family is placed between, see, family we have here, it is placed between order and genus. See, which is the answer you have to go for here? Option 4, order and genus. So family is one of the 8 major hierarchical taxonomic ranks, all right, in the Linnaean hierarchy. Are you getting my points, children? Okay. Now moving on to the few examples, let me give you. Say, for examples, we have dogs of family I am giving, wolves, all right, and to go with that, foxes. All these 3 come under a family called family Canidae. Family Canidae. All they belong to the same family. Okay. Then, for example, all the cats are included in the family Felidae. All right. Then all the bears are included in the family Ursidae. All right. So consider all this. Okay. So you can go here for the option 4, that is family is placed between order and genus. The second question, dash is the branch of science dealing with identification, nomenclature and classification of organisms. All right, 4 options have been given. Option 1 is morphology, then we have anatomy, ecology and taxonomy. So the branch of science, we deals with, already we know, identification of organisms, naming or nomenclature of organisms, and grouping or classification of organisms is taxonomy. So go for option 4. But let us also understand what do we mean by morphology. Here morphology means the study of external features. All right, the characters which we can see through our naked eye, the observable characteristics. All right, so where we can easily know the size, for example, all right, the shape, all right, the structure as well of plants, animals, microbes and so on. That is what we call it as morphology. Then we have secondly anatomy. It is a branch of biology again. All right, so it is the study of structure, all right, and parts of organisms, structure and parts of organisms. So if you want to study the structure and parts, we need to generally dissect the organism. All right, we need to have a incision, cut, and later dissect it into parts, and later easily we can study. So that is anatomy. Further, next we have ecology. So this is the study of organisms' interaction with their physical environment. So how organisms interact with their physical environment. All right, so is what you call it to as, all right, the ecology. All right, children, so please go for option D or option 4, that is taxonomy. Question number 23, Match column 1 with column 2 and select the correct option from codes given below. So again here, column 1, towards the column, towards your left you have column 1 and towards your right you have column 2. John Ray, the scientist names, all right, have been given towards the left hand side, and towards the right hand side what concepts are they are regarded as what in their or their achievements have been mentioned in column 2. So let us understand each one of it. See, John Ray is the person who first described species, which is the lower classification, all right, or a lower category in the classification hierarchy, as a unit of classification. Okay, then Carolus Linnaeus introduced binomial nomenclature, which we all know. Then we have Aristotle. He is called as the father of zoology. So we have earlier studied father of botany. So father of botany is Theophrastus. So father of zoology, Aristotle. Then Julian Huxley. So here he gave the concept of new systematics, so which made it for identification of organisms, to study the organisms much easier. All right, so you please go for option 4. Question number 24 we have is, in plants cell division occurs dash, whereas in animals it occurs dash. So dear students, let me tell you first and foremost thing, in case of plants and animals, they are asking two aspects here. How does cell division occur in plants? How does cell division occur in animals? All right, in what way they have given question as? Let me say, for option 1 what they have given is only up to a certain age, okay, in case of plants, and continuously in case of animals. Option 2, continuously in both plants and animals. All right, sorry, continuously in plants, only up to a certain age in animals. Continuously in both is the third option. Then only, all right, up to a certain age in both plants and animals. So for this, let us first of all understand that both plants and animals are multicellular organisms. Multicellular, well developed organisms, rather we can say. Okay, they are higher organisms. Okay, so they increase by mass through cell division. So this is generally we know, right? Yeah. Now further, let us understand that in case of plants, see, they have meristematic tissues or meristematic regions throughout the bodies. All right, so these meristematic tissues which are present well distributed in the plants, all right, they are responsible for continuous cell division, all right, throughout life rather. So meristematic tissues are the tissues which have the ability of cell division, and they divide throughout the life of a plant. But whereas when we consider the animals, let me tell you, here the growth occurs only up to a certain age, right? So remember this, all right? So after which in fact the cells, they have to divide only to replace worn out, all right, the non-functional or the worn out cells, and the lost or the dead cells. Okay, just to replace these two, okay, worn out and the lost cells, all right, they divide, but not continuously as in the case of animals. So the best option here we can go for is continuously with respect to plants and only up to a certain age with respect to animals. So go for the option 2. The statement nothing lives forever yet life continues illustrates the role of 4 options have been given. So let us understand the statement first. Nothing lives forever, yet life continues. So this is described by which of the given processes? See, we have embryogenesis, morphogenesis, replication and reproduction as the 4 options. So without doubt we can go for reproduction. Why? Let me tell you, because reproduction helps in the formation of new individuals. So of, rather I can say, similar kind. So consider this statement very important. So reproduction helps in the formation of new individuals, of similar kind. So in other terms, let me tell you, life arises from pre-existing life. So this also we can consider for reproduction. And let me tell you, dear students, that reproduction is required for continuation of a population. So that's what life continues. So reproduction should occur, only then the life continues. If reproduction does not happen, then definitely life does not continue. So nothing lives forever. This statement, in simplest of terms, let me tell you that nobody is permanent. So everyone has to taste the death. That is the meaning. So go for option D, that is reproduction, which is Linnaeus described 5,900 species of plants in his book in the year 1793. We have to select the book from the given options, which is the book where 5,900 species were described by Linnaeus. And secondly, 4,326 species of animals also was described by Linnaeus, but in the year 1758. We have to mention the book here again. So here, let me tell you a few important aspects, dear students. See, we know that binomial nomenclature, was in fact explained, was developed by Linnaeus, and he mentioned in his book called Philosophia Botanica. Already I have told you this, Philosophia Botanica. So in the year 1751. So this is the first basic aspect we need to consider. So after that, after 1751, later Linnaeus described 5,900 species of plants in his book, that is Species Plantarum. And in the year 1758, he described 4,326 species of animals in a book called Systema Naturae. So please understand this. These are the two important books where he described these number of plants and these number of animals. Further, let us also understand about the natural system of classification. See, natural system of classification, especially of seed plants or seeded plants. So like we have gymnosperms and angiosperms. So that was described by Bentham and Hooker. So in which book did they describe this? They described the seeded plants. Bentham and Hooker described the seeded plants in their 3-volume book called as Genera Plantarum. So remember this also, it may be useful for solving the other questions. See, We have here genera plantarum no mentioned, that's why I am referring here with respect to genera plantarum. And further, there are two more scientists or botanists, Pliny and Pliny elder, Pliny elder. So he introduced the first system of artificial classification. All right, first artificial system of classification was introduced by Pliny elder, but his book was Historia, all right, Naturalis, all right. So remember, so where he described around 2000 species, all right. So this is also very important to remember. So here it is given Historia Naturalis, that's why I have explained this. But with respect to the question, you please go for option 4, that is species plantarum, where plant species were described by Linnaeus, and Systema Naturae, where animal species were described by Linnaeus. Founder of binomial nomenclature, was here. See, Linnaeus is the founder of binomial nomenclature, which describes the naming of organisms into two names. One is the genus name and the second one is species name. Now other three names, that is Mendel, Darwin and Lamarck, played a significant role with respect to evolution. All right. So please go for option 1. Which of the following options represents the correct classification of the given animal? So you all know this is a tiger, correct? So here we have to represent the proper classification hierarchy of this animal, from the given options. See, the options which have been given here are, all right, Chordata is as if they have given as phylum, class, order, family, genus and species. Let me tell you that the tiger belongs to the phylum Chordata, all right, and class it belongs to is Mammalia, it's a mammal, and later it belongs to the order Carnivora, all right. So which is why it is called as carnivorous animals. It feeds on to the other organisms, all right, by killing it. So then family it belongs to is Felidae, and the genus which it belongs to is Panthera, and the species is Tigris, all right. So please go for option 2 as your correct answer. Most names in biological nomenclature of living organisms are taken from which language? So 4 languages have been mentioned here: Hindi, Latin, German and French. So we have already learnt about this. See, the original scientific names are always taken from Latin, all right, or even Greek language, all right. So new names now, this is with respect to what I am telling with respect to the original scientific names, all right. Now new names. Now recently, if let us say some species is discovered, for that either we go for Latin language. Generally we go for Latin language, all right, because we know that Latin language is considered as what? A dead language. Why? Because there is no change with respect to its form, spellings, with the passage of time. So that's where we consider the Latin language for binomial nomenclature of living organisms. So please go for option 2. 2. The last question for today's session is Linnaean system of classification was based on. 4 options have been given: morphology, all right, ecology, embryology, and cytology. Dear students, let me tell you that Linnaeus is responsible for describing so many important aspects to identify, classify, and name the organisms. So here, let me tell you, he put forward, all right, an artificial system of classification, all right. So this artificial system of classification, it is mainly based on morphological characters. And let me tell you, morphological here refers to what? The external features or the characters which we can observe through our naked eye. So these morphological characters he considered for, in fact, classifying the plants, all right, under artificial system of classification, that we call it as Linnaean system of classification as well. Okay, so it is based on morphology. So please go for option 1.